It's live. What's up, y'all? Get this business stuck in here. Cool. First order of business. We're gonna work on the quads today. You know why? Because my quads are jacked. Went hiking yesterday at Bull Creek, and they're feeling it. And through my flow this morning, I was definitely feeling it too. So why not lean into it, right? You won't need anything specific for class. We are gonna start in a modified heroes pose. If you've been following along my classes, you kind of know what that is, but basically you're gonna be sitting on top of your shins, bent legs, tops of your feet flat on the ground, sitting on your knees. A block can help with that. You can use a blanket underneath your sit bones and on top of your ankles or your heels. Anything like that, but we're gonna start in a modified heroes pose here in about 5-ish minutes or so. So get comfortable, grab a little space. Also, it's gonna be probably a little warm, little heated flow. So I'd recommend some energy. Go. Perfect. We got about 4 minutes before we start. If you're just joining in, we're gonna work on the quads today. We're gonna start in a modified heroes pose, which is gonna be on top of your shins, your feet, top of your feet flat on the ground, and then sit bones either onto your heels or onto support. For me, this brings up some sensation in my knees if I don't have support. So if you're already feeling that, if you're trying this out before we get fully started, go ahead and get something to stuff there. So rolled up blanket, decorative towel you can find use for or decorative pillow. I would use the decorative towels. And maybe just an actual pillow itself. So find something to prop yourself up. We got about 3 minutes before we start. I keep drinking my energy. And I'll come back to this sense for today as well. There's also been a recurring theme for me lately, hopefully for you as well, of saucha, of cleanliness, of not only cleanliness of basic chores, which also a very important thing, but cleanliness of your environment in general. The clutter that you have mental, clutters that you have physical. All of these things that could require just a little good soap and scrub to bring back to what you need so that everything else is streamlined. Approach your class today with that setup, that mindset of saucha, of cleanliness, your environment, your mindset. For me, knowing that I don't have company or guests or anything coming over, I've gotten a little more lax about what I normally keep up with as far as chores. And I've also noticed that after a little bit of doing that, getting a little lax about it, it starts to weigh on me mentally. If you see it passing through the room or whatever it is that you're neglecting, it just kind of, it adds on a little bit of weight each time. So rather than taking on that extra weight every time, decided I'm going to get it done, get it over with, and go on about my day. Then you don't have to worry about it anymore. It's not adding on that little bit of extra every time you think about it and have to let it go or whatever the case may be. But something I'm working with as well. Coming up on our last minute, if you are just joining, Modified Heroes Pose is where we're going to work into some quad business today. So we're going to not only stretch them, but we do have to warm them up to get them ready to stretch, right? You don't want to just pull on a cold muscle. You wouldn't pull on a frozen rubber band, right? You want to tug a little bit, get it stretched, get it warmed up, and then you can start to utilize it fully, find its full extension there. Or if you want to use the analogy, tenderize a steak, right? You don't just eat a steak, tenderize it, get it prepped for what you're going to use it for. Alright, Modified Heroes Pose. Official start time is now. So top of your feet, flat on the ground, knees in line with your hips, and then start to lift your chest up away from your lap. A couple rounds, you can draw some circles with your shoulders. You can draw circles together, up, back, and down, or your own individual circles. Get a little shoulder shimmy. And reverse. And then let yourself get still. Close your eyes. There's a saying that if you really want to know what someone thinks, especially in an argument, you give them a little bit of silence. And they'll start to explain more, give a little more. So within those first few breaths of silence, what was your body saying to you? What was your mind saying to you? Take a second to put that in a box. Set it to the side. Know that you can come back to that later. Alright, we're going to start a little rooted movement. So take your hands onto the top of your thighs. And I want you to tuck your tailbone forward. So like you're trying to round it towards your kneecaps. And then let the roundness in your low back follow that. It's almost like a seated cat pose. And then on your inhale, start to point your tailbone back. And then allow your low back to round forward. And then allow your upper back to start to round as well. And a little bit faster, point your tailbone first, and then start to round your spine all the way up to your shoulders. Point your tailbone back, and then let your low back follow. And then make that your movement. Slow and controlled. Tuck your tailbone forward. Tuck your tailbone back. If you haven't already, stoke up your Ujjayi breathing. Inhale, pull forward through your nose. Then exhale through your nose on your tailbone. Keep that going a little bit faster if it feels okay, just for 3. For 2. Last one. If you're still working with that, getting some sticky stuff out, keep going with it. Otherwise, come back in through to neutral. Modified Heroes Pose. Take a breath in, reach your hands up through center. Then exhale, pull your hands down to your heart. Samasthiti, thumbs to your chest. Again, inhale, reach out and up. Exhale, pull your hands down. Control your ribs as you lift your arms. So inhale, reach up. Notice your ribs try to lift with you. Can you control them down? Exhale, pull down. 2 more times. Inhale, reach up. Exhale, pull down. 1 more time. Inhale up. Exhale, pull down, lean forward, breathe in, then fold over your legs. Walk your hands out past your legs. And this one, you can stay up a little lifted, shoulders in line with your hips. If you have the space, keep pressing your hands into the ground and let your chest get a little closer towards the mat, almost like a puppy dog pose. You can let your forehead touch. 2 rounds of breath. Inhale, walk your hands back in towards your legs. Shift forward to a tabletop if you have blocks, props, whatever they may be. Move them out to the side. Let's start off with freestyle cat-cows. So make a long torso first. So walk your knees back. And then stack your hips on top of your knees. Now notice how my shoulders are behind my wrist. So to stack everything up, I'm going to walk my wrist underneath my shoulders. So now I got a nice strong stack. Knee on top of hip, rather hip on top of knee, shoulder on top of wrist. Then begin to pull forward so you can get the full extension of your shoulders. If you start this with your shoulders forward past your wrist, you're not going to get the full extension that you could be getting here. There's a lot of awkward angles. Same thing if it's too far forward. You're not going to get as much of a cat pose. Make sure everything is nice and stacked. Let's take 3 more rounds. Your breath to movement. Round, then send your right leg straight back behind you. Now press more into your left foot so your left hip will lift. Then rotate your right hip down. So you're engaged through your left side. It's controlled and lifting you, supporting you. Your right leg extending straight back out, getting a stretch. Take a breath in. Then on your exhale, kick your heel towards your glute. On an inhale, extend it back out as straight as you can. Drive it straight back. Exhale, squeeze heel to glute. Let's do that 3 more times. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. 1 more time. Notice how much you're shifting to the left. Keep it nice and stacked through center. Keep your heel to glute here. Reach back with your left hand and capture. Now kick your foot into your hand. Begin to open up your chest. Dial your right hip down, your left shoulder down. Try to make your chest flat towards the ground. And then open up through your right quad by kicking your foot more into your hand and resisting pulling your hand right back into your foot. 3 rounds of breath. Stay just as strong, just as lifted. 1 more round. On an inhale, reach out to balancing tabletop. Get a stretch. Exhale, tabletop. Round of cat-cow. Inhale, pull forward. Exhale, press and round. Maybe stay a little bit longer if that feels good. Again, I know you can work up some tension. So a little bit longer through movements can release some of that tension. When you're ready, foot to the top of your right foot. Left leg out straight behind you. Once again, press the top of your right foot down so your right hip lifts. Dial your left hip, left pinky toe down. So now you got a light, nice, flat sacrum. Take a breath. Exhale. Kick your left heel to glute. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale, squeeze and control. 3 more times. Inhale. Exhale. Keep pressing through your right foot. Inhale. Exhale. 1 more time. Inhale, extend. Exhale, squeeze in. Lift your right hand. Reach back and grab the outside of your foot. Kick your foot into your hand. And then pull your hand into your foot. Can you now parallel your chest to the ground? 3 breaths. Keep pressing through your right foot. Keep lowering your left outer hip. And then inhale, reach out. Extended or balancing table. Exhale, tabletop. Take a round of cat-cow. Inhale, forward. Exhale, press and round. Come back to a neutral spine, child's pose. Hips to heels, walk your hands forward. Recommit to your intention. Cleanliness, saucha, or maybe something else that you came into class with. Be there with it fully. When you're ready to move, inhale, shift forward, tabletop. It's time to tuck your toes, press your hips up and back, down dog. You got 10 rounds of breath to settle in down dog. 10 rounds of breath, you can pedal your feet. You can hold stillness. Just check in with the roundness of your low back. So step your feet a little bit wider for a second. Take your hand to your low back. Left hand, right hand, doesn't matter. Just notice how bowed it is up to the ceiling or how rounded it is more towards the ground. You want a little more rounded towards the ground, so tailbone points up, right? You get a little bit more roundness, natural curve of your low spine. So even if you have to keep your knees bent to make that shape happen, keep that. That's okay. I'd rather see that than straight legs and this really, really rounded lowered back, right? Want this nice scoop natural curve. 3 more breaths. Give your head a shake yes and no. Let tension in your neck go. And then bend your knees. Look forward. On your exhale, step. Tiny steps all the way forward. Keep pressing down through your hands. You're trying to resist on the way up so your hips lift. You can't go further. Fold over your legs. Grab for opposite elbows. This time take sway left. And then a sway to the right. And then a little bit faster. Just breath to movement, or maybe even faster than breath to movement. Just as long as you can feel every part of it and you can still control it. It's not wild, not unruly. All right, left hand down underneath your face. Reach your right hand up for a twist. Right, straighten your right leg, bend your left leg a lot. Spin the inside of your left elbow pit forward. So the inside of your left bicep, spin it forward. Your actual elbow will rotate backwards. So that's going to help naturally lock in your shoulder. Then begin to pull your chest forward with the strength of your left hand. That should deepen the stretch on your right leg. Savor that stretch. All right, straight arm, one more breath in. And exhale, fold, and then take that to the other side. Right hand down, left hand up, left leg straight. Same thing, spin your right elbow pit forward, your right elbow backwards, then pull your chest forward. Notice if it's the other way, and you start to pull, you're going to start to awkwardly pull your the crease in your joints the opposite way, right? So spin it forward, then drag forward. There's so much more strength and support there. One more breath in. Exhale, release down. Toe heel your feet together, bend your knees, slide up to stand. Take it slow. You reach the top. Your hands out in anatomical neutral to start. So, arms out, thumbs out. Pull your shoulders down away from your ears. Begin to grow your ears up away from your shoulders. Maybe wiggle left and right like a curious dog for a second. Take a big breath in, fill up your chest. Exhale, sink your chest down. All right, keep all this strength through your legs, all of this downward motion. Then extend your arms up. So you're still pulling your shoulders down as you extend your arms up. It should feel like an awkward sensation. It's not going to feel quite natural. That's the sensation that you want. Keep that pull down. Now open your arms back out, anatomical neutral. Breathe. Do that again. Inhale, reach up, mountain pose. Pulling your shoulders down. Exhale, down to your anatomical neutral. One more time. Inhale, reach out and up. Exhale, anatomical neutral. One more time. Reach up to mount. And then exhale, forward fold. Hands at your heart, hinge at your hips, in flat spine, rather than the rounded spine to extend forward. Again, I want you to pull your shoulders back, extend forward like a swan dive. Inhale, halfway lift. And exhale, high plank. Step it back. We're going to keep that side plank business going that we started Thursday. So shift your weight into your right foot and your right hand, and then lift your left arm up, side plank. You can take your left foot down, nice support. You can take your right knee down, extend your left leg. That's nice and supportive as well. Or you can take full-on side plank, maybe even lift your leg up. Just make sure your hips are stacked. Press the back of your head into this visible supportive wall behind you. Extend your left arm up. Taking a big breath in. Exhale back to high plank. And then other side. Inhale, shift left hand, left foot, your side plank. Mirror the same shape you did on the other side, whatever support you took, take it here. If you get to that support and it's different, you need something different, take it. One more breath in. Exhale, high plank. Breathe in and shift forward. Then exhale, lower all the way down to your belly. Take it slow. You bend your elbows so they stay stacked on top of your wrist. Flip to the tops of your feet. We're taking cobra pose, y'all. Press your feet down, lift your knees off the ground. Squeeze your shoulders together. Knit your lower rib cage down. Then inhale, peel your chest. Cobra pose. Exhale, lower. And then do it again. Inhale, peel your chest. Cobra. Exhale, lower. 3 more times. Inhale, lift. Exhale, lower. Inhale. Exhale. One more time. Inhale. Hold at the top on your exhale. Maybe lift your hands. Maybe lift your feet. You're stretching out your back line. Can you squeeze your thighs together so you're supporting that? Can you point your toes back? Can you stretch the top of your head forward? Maybe squeeze your shoulders together.